And I call the member for Dawson.
Well, thank you, Madam Speaker. And the motion that's before us is nothing more than a scare campaign, and an old one at that. It suggests that aviation firefighting services are going to be removed from a number of airports in my electorate, Hamilton Island and Proserpine, but I note that the speech that was delivered is pretty different to the motion that's before us, and that's because the member has realised that both those claims are false. They were false 2 years ago and they're still false today. Now, the previous Minister for Transport, the member for Gippsland, published a media release on the 16th of December 2016, and these were the key points in the release: that future requirements for the aviation firefighting services will be based on a safety risk assessment, that the modernised regulatory framework will adopt a more systems and outcome-based approach, and that the existing regional airport operations will continue to operate under current arrangements. The Minister went on to say that the government's got no plans to close ARFFS at regional airports. In relation to existing ARFFS locations at our regional airports, these will continue to operate under current arrangements, which is appropriate as several of these ARFFS services and facilities have only been established in the last few years. It can't be clearer than that. Existing services, including those at Proserpine, Hamilton Island, will remain untouched. So claims in this motion about losing services at many different places, Ballina, Coffs Harbour, Ayers Rock, Gladstone, Broome, Karratha, Newman, Port Hedland and Hamilton Island, it's all hogwash. A scare campaign debunked 2 years ago, more than 2 years ago. Now, as far as Proserpine, the Whitsunday Coast Airport, is concerned, the Shadow Minister has claimed in this motion that any change is going to be precluding the establishment of firefighting services at that airport. Again, it's not true. Establishment of services at Proserpine are already in progress. I understand the case is being presented actually to the Civil Aviation Safety Authority this very week. The process will see services established at Proserpine, making it an existing service, and as such that service will be grandfathered if any regulatory changes are made. So no problem. Passenger movements at the Whitsunday Coast Airport have already reached 350,000. They're soon going to pass 500,000, with the airport forecasting 900,000 passenger movements a year by 2035. Now, I'm very proud to say that Whitsunday Coast Airport, Proserpine Airport, is not only the fastest growing airport in my electorate, it's recognised as one of the fastest growing airports in the whole country. Its growth is a reflection on the quality tourism that we're offering in the Whitsundays, the good economic management and the vision exhibited by the owners of the airport, Whitsunday Regional Council. I pay tribute to Mayor Andrew Wilcox for that. The vision includes a push for international flights into the airport, which would provide an automatic trigger for the provision of aviation rescue and firefighting services anyway. When this issue was first raised by the United Firefighters Union of Australia Aviation Branch, who contacted me with their concerns about the regulatory policy review publication consultation paper, I had a look into it. Now, the union in its submission to that paper was the only stakeholder that was against those changes, but they asked me for my support in lobbying against them on the grounds that services and jobs would be lost locally. Now, I agree with those sentiments. I don't want to see any local jobs lost. In fact, I want to see jobs created through an expanding airport and aviation and tourism industry. Now, I also didn't want to see safety services cut locally at any of my airports, especially one predominantly serving the tourism market. Now, as a result, I sought assurances way back then, several years ago, 2 elections ago, from the Minister for Transport that services would not be cut. And right at that time, I was assured by the Minister publicly that those services would not be cut. Now, for whatever reason, we've had the Labor Party come in here and try to breathe life into a badly beaten scare campaign, and I have once again sought assurances from the new Minister this very morning as to what is going on, and I am told that the same assurances I was given then are alive now. The policy has not changed. This motion is a sham, but I will agree with one point in it, and that is the first point. I do support the vital work that is being performed each and every day by highly trained professionals providing aviation rescue and firefighting services on Hamilton Island and elsewhere around this country, and the ones that will come on board in Proserpine. They ensure the safety of the flying public for tourism-based airports such as Whitsunday Coast Airport and Hamilton Island. That is critical. These individuals do a great job providing an important service. They deserve better than being told that they're going to lose their jobs as part of some scare campaign, because they're not. Hamilton Island aviation firefighting services are safe. it will be established at Proserpine. They do a great job, continue to do a great job, and I support the government stance in keeping those jobs.
I thank the member and call the member for